Good morning and welcome to NewsByte live broadcast of news, headlines and interviews on topical issues. My name is Oluwa Mayomeko. Welcome. Let's go to the dailies and then later we'll discuss with our guest on the restructuring of Nigeria. So, straight to the dailies. First Lady Aisha Buhari left yesterday for London on a visit to President Muhammadu Buhari, who is on a medical vacation in the UK. The president left for the United Kingdom since May 7th on a follow-up consultation with his doctors. You may recall that Mrs. Buhari visited her husband last month. The federal government is set to transmit to the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja over 3,000 pages of the records of the 21-month trial of the Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki at the Code of Conduct Tribunal in preparation to file a notice of appeal against the CCTV's judgment. Recall that the CCTV recently discharged and acquitted Saraki of all the 18 charges of false assets declaration. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu says Nigeria currently has 45 political parties and more might be registered before the next general elections, promising that no matter the number of parties, INEC is ready and can effectively manage them. 8 parties in Osun State have endorsed and adopted the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Otunba Nuruddin Ademola Adeleke, as their choice in the forthcoming Osun West senatorial by-election. A former national chairmanship aspirant of PDP, who was also a spokesperson for former President Olusegun Obasanjo while in power, that's Dr. Doyin Okupe, has resigned his membership from the People's Democratic Party, citing happenings in the party, which according to him indicates that there was no way to bear fruit in the future. Former head of state General Yakubu Gowon has urged Nigerians to eschew all forms of violence, criminal acts and behavior capable of dividing the country, asking them to pray for the alien President Muhammadu Buhari, the acting President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, and the nation, because prayer can solve problems better and faster than war. Former Minister of Information and current National President of the Middle Belt Forum, Professor Jerry Gana, has told Northerners preaching division that if Nigeria breaks, the minorities in the Middle Belt will not follow them. Okay, let's go to the states. Governor Umaru Al-Makura of Nasarawa State will henceforth says the state will henceforth arrest and prosecute individuals and groups engaging in hate speeches capable of breaching the peace of the state. The indigenous people of Biafra has distanced his leader, that's Nnamdi Kanu, from the alleged boycott threats of November 18 election in Anambra State. A new video showing a large number of Boko Haram terrorists celebrating Salah in a yet-to-be-identified section of Sambisa Forest, that's in Borno State, has emerged. In the video, the insurgents, who reportedly belong to the Abubakar Shekau's faction, spread out on the field observing the Eid prayers. You recall that the government has recorded some success, or even a lot of success, in reclaiming the Sambisa Forest. In one sweep yesterday, the Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose ordered the immediate dissolution of the State Executive Council while directing the former commissioners to hand over to the permanent secretaries of their respective ministries. Mr. Pandong, the Plateau Commissioner for Works and Transport, said the state government has set aside 38 billion naira for the construction of 16 roads in the state this fiscal year to aid rural development and improve the economy of the state. He assured that a thorough work had been done to ensure that the 16 road contracts were given to the right contractors. The Niger Delta Development Commission has started emergency repairs on some of the failed portions of the East-West Road, especially the dilapidated sections between Eleme Junction and the One Junction, to save the road from total collapse. The Benue State Governor Samuel Otom has lamented that dead workers and some others who were supposed to have retired are still collecting salaries in the state. He vowed that his government will scale down the alarming 7.9 billion naira monthly wage, as it can no longer sustain it. 8 workers of Murtala Mohammed Specialty Hospital in Kano have been queried for alleged nonchalant conduct and negligence. They were issued the query on the instruction of the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Kabiru Getso, who made an unscheduled visit to the hospital last week. The Kaduna State Quality Assurance Board has trained 68 quality facilitators, while another 70 head teachers from the 3 senatorial districts of the state will be trained on effective school, class, and teacher management. Residents of crisis-ridden Ajapa Riverine community in Esel, the local government area of Ondo State, who were victims of military invasion in the area, got relief materials at the weekend estimated at 25 million naira from the Rotimi Akeredolu-led state government. Remember that last May some soldiers invaded Ajapa following the killing of a soldier by suspected militants. Sadly, a missing 5-year-old boy, Desmond Rabome, has been found dead in a septic tank in an uncompleted building in Ushafa community, Buhari Area Council in Abuja. Little Desmond's aunt, that's Joy Odufo, who took him in after the death of his mother in February, had reported the disappearance of the boy, who went missing on Wednesday at the Ushafa police station. Anyway, the boy was later found dead in a septic tank the next day. Residents of Hallelujah Estate in Ido-Osun in Egbedore local government area of Osun State have apprehended an operator of a drinking joint identified as Sikiru Adeosun inside a bush at Ga Fulani area of the estate while fleeing his residence after allegedly beating his girlfriend to death. Unidentified gunmen have killed a youth leader identified as Paragi and Mr. Mfom Etukudu, a lawyer, in Ukanafun local government area of Akwa Ibom State. The Lagos State government has arrested 100 suspected members of the dreaded cult group Bado, who has been terrorizing residents of the state, especially in the Ikorodu axis. The 100 suspects were arrested in a joint operation carried out by men of the Lagos State Police Command, Rapid Response Squad, Oodua People's Congress, as well as local vigilantes, including Oyabo in Ikorodu on Saturday. 2 armed robbery suspects were at the weekend arrested by the police in a Union Bank robbery attack at Nkpo, Idemili North local government area of Anambra State. The notorious serial kidnapper Chukwudu Ememe Onwamadike, also known as Evans, has denied filing any suits against the police. Remember that all through last week it was in the news that he probably sued the police. He has denied it. 1 person has died and about 100 houses destroyed in a rainstorm that swept through 15 villages in Ilela local government area of Sokoto State. 7 others, including a mother and 3 children, were injured in the rainstorm that lasted for about 30 minutes on Friday. Also, the council secretariat, schools, and other public spaces were destroyed. Hundreds of Fayagologo waterfront residents in Rivers State took to the streets on Friday, lamenting that they have been rendered homeless by the demolition of their houses by the state government. The Joy Youth Council has accused the DSS of breaching the federal government's peace process in the Niger Delta region by its continuous detention of some Niger Delta people without trial. To Taraba now, the state government says the difficult terrain is slowing down distribution of relief materials to victims of the farmers' herdsman clash in the Mambila area. Deputy Governor Haruna Manu, who visited victims of the violence in Gembu and Ngoroje areas, however, promised that the government will find a lasting solution to the problem, adding that some of the relief materials have started arriving at the various IDP camps and more were on their way. The Nigerian Air Force has commenced the feeding of school pupils of Dalori and Bama internally displaced person camps in Borno State as part of efforts to promote education among the disadvantaged pupils. The Federal Road Safety Corps says it recorded a 32% reduction in fatality during the 2017 Salah Patrol compared to the year 2016. The Oyo State government has submitted a bill to the House of Assembly to establish an agency that will register and manage residents' data. The bill is on the second stage of consideration. The agency will be responsible for registering residents across the state update the data and manage it for planning purposes. The project may lead to the introduction of residents' identification cards. Meanwhile, Lagos State government has released 684 million naira for the payment of accrued pensions rights to 218 retirees from the mainstream civil service, local government, the State Universal Basic Education Board, Teachers Establishments and Pensions Office, and other parastatals of the government under the Contributory Pension Scheme for the month of June. Meanwhile, the Federal Inland Revenue Service has proposed a flexible tax payment method to enable domestic airlines to remain in operation as well as meet their value-added tax remittance obligations. Note that the economic recession currently rocking the country has increased the volume of fraud cases in the banking industry, with the banking sector recording about 32,000 fraud cases involving the sum of 16.5 billion naira between January 2014 and December 2016, according to the Nigerian Electronic Fraud Report prepared by the Banking and Systems Payment Department of the CBN. The Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria has cried out over what it calls a recalcitrant group of wealthy Nigerians holding the national economy to ransom. According to AMCOM, these people have refused all entreaties to pay their loans totaling 2.5 trillion naira. The agency revealed that the obligation of just about 350 Nigerians is 1/3 of the 7.44 trillion naira budget for 2017, or it amounts to 80% of AMCOM's total exposure. And lastly, Nigerian Insurance Association has disclosed that only 8 million vehicles out of the estimated 17 million on Nigerian roads have genuine insurance cover. So that's our headlines for today.